the Dolly Zoom, also called the Vertigo effect. Hey guys, it's Ryan. We're going to talk about two ways to do a Dolly Zoom. One, completely in camera the old school way, and also how to do a Dolly Zoom in your editor. Alfred Hitchcock is credited with basically inventing the Dolly Zoom. He used it in the film Vertigo. Obviously we all know the famous Dolly Zoom from Steven Spielberg's Jaws. So why use a Dolly Zoom? Beyond the fact that it looks cool, camera moves should always be reinforcing something within your story. They should be helping connect your audience to what a character's thinking or what a character's going through emotionally. That's what happens in Vertigo. We're understanding what Jimmy Stewart's character is dealing with internally. In Jaws, Steven Spielberg uses it to visually communicate that moment of realization that our protagonist Brody has when he sees the shark attack. So first off, I decided to do the Dolly Zoom entirely in camera. I put my R6 on a slider, and I've got a motorized slider which is trying to eliminate as many variables as possible, because to create a Dolly Zoom, you are zooming in and dollying out at the same speed, or you are dollying in and zooming out at the same speed, keeping your subject relatively the same size. In this case, my subject is a Sony FX3. I rented it recently and really liked it, so there'll be some videos on that coming shortly. And my face looks really weird in that shot. I think that's my standard production face when I'm really concentrating. I should work on that. Oh, there's my dog. So what I'm doing here is I put the camera in autofocus. Canon R6 has great autofocus. I've got the slider set so it's moving automatically in and out. I am time and time again trying to match the speed of the dolly push in and the dolly pull out with my zoom. And that's what you're gonna have to do. If you're doing it manually like I did, or you're doing it with an iPhone, you're just gonna have to try it a bunch of times so you get it at the right speed and do it smoothly. Now just a little bit about how a dolly zoom works. When you zoom in or zoom out, perspective doesn't change. You're just blowing up or shrinking an image. When you dolly or track on a slider, you're actually moving the position of the camera, so you're moving through the space, and the perspective of the image changes. And that's what you're taking advantage of. You're changing the perspective of the background as you move through the space, but you're also zooming, so you're keeping your subject relatively the same size in the frame. And that's what creates that crazy looking effect. Now, doing a dolly zoom in your editor, you need to think about two things when you're filming the clip. You don't need to zoom, you just need to move the camera toward your subject or away from your subject. The zoom you will do in post. Also, you need to film in a higher resolution than you're going to be editing in. Because you're zooming in post, you're losing resolution. So for this example, I rendered this in 1080, but the original clip is in 4K. I'm going to drag my footage down onto the timeline. I'm going to decide what part of the footage I want to use. So I want him completely in frame, and also this footage was in slow motion, so I just sped it up in post. This is just stock footage I grabbed off of a stock footage website. It's a nice pretty little shot. I wish I had filmed it, but I didn't. And once I have my clip selected, my in and out selected, I am going to copy the footage and put a duplicate of that on top. Then I'm going to take the duplicated clip on top and I'm going to move it just so it overlaps at the end. So the front of the clip is overlapping the end of the clip. This is going to give me a reference point on how much I need to zoom in. I'm going to take that top clip, I'm going to turn the opacity down to 35%. That's, as I say, this is just for reference so I can see how much I need to zoom in. And this will work in any editor. I know I'm doing this in Davinci Resolve, but you can do this in Final Cut, you can do this in Premiere, and in most any semi-professional or professional editor that's out there. I'm going to create a keyframe at the beginning of the original clip. I'm going to go to the end, I'm going to back up one frame, I'm going to create another keyframe, and then I'm just going to zoom in until they're about the right size. I'm also going to create two keyframes at the beginning and end for the position, because I need to change the position of the clip as well. I'll move the clips so they're overlapping, and then I'll zoom in just a little bit more. It doesn't have to be perfect, that's pretty good. So that is going to keep him relatively the same size. I will delete my reference clip, and that should be a dolly zoom. It's pretty simple. I'm zooming in as we are dollying out, and the background changes very strangely, and he walks out of focus, which is a little annoying. Yeah, looks good. I think it's a really cool effect, and it's not that difficult to do as long as you've got some patience and you're willing to do it a whole bunch of times, especially if you're doing it completely in camera. It's a little bit easier if you're doing it just in your editor, but you do lose some resolution. I hope that was helpful. Thanks so much for watching.